So today in 12-2, we're going to learn how to locate fractions and decimals on a number line. Yesterday in 12-1, you learned how decimals and fractions are related. So I wanted to just quickly review that by looking at these models. And the first model is a model of one whole because one whole is shaded in. The second model has one whole that's broken up into 10 equal parts. So if you just shade in one of those, then that's shading 1/10. And we know as a fraction how to write 1/10 is 1/10. Going back also, you can divide a model into 100 equal parts, and just shading in one of those would be equal to 1/100th. We know as a fraction, 1/100th looks like this. So now we're going to quickly review how a fraction can change into a decimal. And a fraction can change into a decimal if there's no whole numbers in front. If it's not a mixed number, you're going to put a 0 in the ones place. This 0 represents 0 ones. And since we only have 1/10 of a whole, you're going to write 0.1, which represents 1/10, because here in our place value chart is the tenths place. So now we're going to break down our place value chart into the decimal place values. So we have the ones, decimal point, tenths, hundredths, then would come thousandths, 10,000ths, 100,000ths, millionths, and so on. It just goes in the opposite direction as the normal place value chart, but we're just attaching a THS at the end. So when you have 1/10, you would need to write the 1 in the tenths place, and for 100th, you would need to write the 1 in the hundredths place. 0.01 is a way of writing 100th. Now, if you had these decimals, or these fractions here on the bottom, this denominator is 100. So notice how all of the decimals, have 2 places after the decimal point. So these are representing hundredths, because down here you have fractions that are in the hundredths. So this decimal says 100th, just like we saw before with the model. Here we have 16 hundredths, because there's 16 out of 100 shaded. If you imagine 16 of these are shaded, that would be 16 hundredths, 0.16. Here we have 35 hundredths, 43 hundredths, 98 hundredths. I want you to notice that the one that makes this different, this 0.01, is the fact that 1 on top, the numerator, is a 1-digit number. The rest of them are 2 digits, so they take up 2 places after the decimal. But the 100th has to be written carefully in the hundredths place only.